Howdy folks, welcome back to Empyrion Academy. Today's lesson is small vessels. If you're only looking for a tutorial on how to build your own SV, then you can go ahead and skip right to part 2 because part 1 is just hints and tips and how to use the factory. Let's get started by looking at the uses for small vessels. First of all, they're the fastest form of transportation in the game. In atmosphere they go up to 40 meters per second, and in space they go up to 115. Small vessels can also go to space and the asteroid fields and also the moons. They cannot warp to other planets, but they can get to your starter planet's moon, and that's very handy in the early game. They can also be used as agile fighter type ships for combat, including taking out other ships and taking out POI turrets. They can dodge turret fire pretty easily as long as you make them quick enough. To get a better view when attacking long range, go into your video options and change your FOV. Slide it all the way down to 40 and it will zoom in for you so that you can see better. And don't forget to turn it back when you're done. They can also be built small enough to fly through base doors, and you can even use it to fly around inside at POI. They can also carry lots of cargo, a mobile constructor, and a fridge. And you can dock them onto a capital vessel and bring them to other planets. Small vessels do have a few weaknesses. They can't have turrets. They're also not work vehicles, so you can't put drills on them or harvesters, and you probably will not be able to do so in the future. They also cannot defend themselves, so you can't just leave them unattended unless they are defended by something else or well hidden. If you're using an SV to go out mining or raiding, you can bring a small ship and bury it to keep it safe from wandering drones. With larger POIs, you can park your ship inside. For smaller POIs, you can park right outside and keep an eye out for the red markers on the radar that tell you a drone is incoming. You should be able to run outside quickly enough to defend your ship from the incoming drone. On PvE planets, note that there is no collision damage. You can check whether the planet is PvP or PvE by pressing M and looking at the indicator on the map. This no collision damage includes colliding with other ships and bases and terrains, anything. You can ram into everything at full speed and there's no damage. Your regular mouse and WASD controls apply to flying your ship. You can also roll left and right with Q and E, and hold the O key to auto-level your ship. You might have to hold it down for a second to get completely level. To dock onto a CV or a base, press your landing gear or pads against it, and you'll hear a beep and the docked status will change when it's docked. When docking your ship to a CV, if it doesn't want to dock, check the faction. Go into the control panel with the P key and look at the faction. The faction needs to match on both the SV and the CV or base. And also note that if the core gets replaced on anything, it reverts to public faction. So it's possible that your faction was changed without your knowledge. Always check those factions. And if you do run into this problem, just remember, it's very common, it happens to everybody, and it's not a big deal. The L key will toggle your ship's lights on and off. That does include the spotlights. Press the P key to open the control panel. You can do this from inside the ship or while standing on it. In the control panel you can see if any important parts are damaged, and you can access any of your ship's components from the list, including constructors, cargo, fridges, ammo boxes, oxygen, and fuel tanks. The only component you can't use from the control panel is the oxygen station. This is the one that refills your suit, and you do have to physically point at that one from outside the ship in order to use it. You can also check your fuel and oxygen levels. And be sure to keep oxygen inside the tanks because you always use it when you're inside a cockpit. When the ship's tanks run out, then you start using your suit's oxygen instead. This does include even when you're on a planet with a breathable atmosphere and even when you're in an open cockpit. Whenever you're in a cockpit, you're always using oxygen. One way to bring a ship into the game is to spawn it from a blueprint. There are quite a few prefab blueprints included with the game. You can use any of these, Or if you don't like the ones in the game, or you want to find other ones, you can go to the Steam Workshop and look at thousands of other player-created blueprints. If you find one that you want to use in your game, you click the subscribe button on that blueprint, and it will make Empyrion download it the next time you load up a game. It will then appear in your blueprint list the next time you go into your factory by hitting F2. Once you've chosen a ship, you can add the needed materials to the factory. You can drag and right-click to drop one at a time, or you can split a stack in half by right-clicking on it, and you can shift-click to push a whole stack into the factory. Note that adding pre-crafted parts will give you credit for the resources needed to make them, plus a reduction in the time needed to build the ship based on how long it takes to craft those items. So you can use parts you pick up from drones and from looting in order to help speed up your production. Any extra materials you put into the factory can be applied to future blueprints, so you don't have to worry about losing those resources. But note that the time savings for the pre-crafted parts you dropped in, those will be reset every time you manufacture a blueprint. When all of the needed materials have been added, a start button will be enabled, and you can click that and your timer will start. When your timer's done, you can go back to your factory and spawn in your completed ship. Just select it in the factory, it will show you the box where it will be spawned, and you click to spawn it in. Make sure to have fuel and ammo ready so that you can use your ship as soon as you've spawned it. And that's all of part 1 of the small vessel tutorial. In part 2, we'll look at all the different components you can put on a ship, and we'll build our own SV. I hope to see you there.